Welcome back to Vendor Besties, Season 2, Episode 4. We are with Daniel with the Waitstaff Team today. Cheers.
Woohoo!
Oh, it's a long way.
I can reach you this time.
Yay!
Yes.
Welcome back, Daniel. It's a whole new day.
A whole new world. Yes.
Wow. What do you have to offer?
Oh, yes, because we're going to do it at the beginning of the episode. So at the in the description somewhere, there'll be a link. So we obviously do food, beverage, service. And so one thing that most people do not understand is how to actually set a buffet. So that way you do not run out of meat about a halfway to 3/4 of the way through the buffet line. So we have a how-to guide that is somewhere in the link there. So free to any of your guests.
Good, you guys.
Give us the title.
The hidden costs of running an event and the price of poor planning.
Oh, yes.
The price of poor planning, that'll definitely be like the title
Yeah,
slide.
I was into that.
If Harry Potter graduated from Hogwarts and became a vendor for a wedding.
Harry Potter and the price of poor planning.
If only we all had wizard ones.
You know, you did such an amazing job of sending us this incredible list of topics to go over, and a good chunk of them were just about very practical ways to plan your event to not just solve problems, but to also make sure that you're using every dollar really efficiently. And so some of that was about bar flow, some of that was about, like you just said, how you're setting up your catering station, educating people about what a realistic budget should look like. So, I mean, kick off the conversation anywhere you want, my friend.
Great. I think one of the questions that I wanted to hit for sure was, when do you bring in staffing to the conversation?
Yes.
And obviously you guys know as coordinators, and other vendors are affected by it as well. So even if you're a photographer or somebody else, you know how valuable it is to have the team there who does stuff. Otherwise you're like, hey, bride and groom, we need to go take pictures. And you're like, the sun is setting, perfect time, and we can't because the buffet is still atrocious at this point. So even if you as other vendors hear of like, hey, there's no staffing, have you guys thought about that? The biggest thing for us that we see is it's either they bring it in way too early or way too late. And so the way too early is we don't even know who our caterer is. We don't know our venue. It's like, you shouldn't even be talking to a staffing company. Go check out catering company.
That's when you say, here's Emily and Maurice's email addresses. Please hire a planner.
Absolutely. And we've had coordinators reach out and say they haven't picked out their caterer yet. We're like, how do we know what we're doing? How am I going to provide any sort of reasonable budget outside of a very large budget range? Are we actually serving the food, or is the catering company serving the food? Or are we, tending the buffet, or is the catering company setting up and staying and fully cleaning up the buffet? So at least having food figured out and then finding out that they don't have staffing, that's when it's like, oh, okay, now is the time to actually bring a staffing company.
Then you know what the gaps are that you can fill.
Yeah, because otherwise we're just like shooting in the dark. It's like, I mean, if you want to spend 10 grand, we can. I mean, if you want to spend more than that, you can too. Depends on if it's a 300-person wedding or a 100-person wedding, right?
I had a quote request last summer for a 300-person wedding, 300 to 400-person wedding, several hours away, at a place that does not have tables and chairs, and they didn't know anything about what they wanted for decor. They did not have a caterer. They did not have any other vendors lined up, and they reached out asking for rentals and staffing quote. And I said, okay, well, for rentals, like 400 people will do a quick table math. That's this many tables, that's this many linens. Right. So I can give you a really rough estimate based on some basic price ranges of my stuff for that. Staffing, where are the tables and chairs coming from? What size and shape are they? What is our layout?
How big is the venue?
How close can the delivery truck get to where the tables and chairs are going? Is it flat? Are there stairs? Because I'm going to charge you more if I have to carry stuff upstairs, because I'm bringing the people with the muscles to do it, and I'm paying them accordingly. I'm not carrying 6 chairs, me personally, in a go up 2 flights of stairs. It's not happening. I'm not going to do it. So I wrote back and I was like, I need all these questions answered. And she wrote back and said, well, can you give me a minimum? And I said, $7,000.
And even that is like I don't know.
And I said, let me be clear, that's a minimum. And it's because we're multiple hours away from town. So I'm going to have to put my people up for at least one night. And we're talking about gas and mileage and the time to drive out there.
Yep.
All of those things before we ever step foot on the property.
Yeah. So for staffing purposes, you need to at least have your venue picked out, because if you have no idea what venue, is this Horning's Hideout? Is this a big, sprawling, up, a trail in bark dust, or is this, a nice venue where everything is in one room, right? So you have to have your venue. You have to at least have your catering, food, or beverage idea picked out.
Concept.
Right. So if you want it just for bar, okay, well, that's a lot easier to be like, we know we want 2 signature cocktails and we're at this venue. Okay, that's fine. We can work with that. But if you have no idea what the catering company is providing, if anything at all, and you're like, well, we want a quote for plated option, buffet option, and if you guys don't handle food at all, but you're just there for busing, it's like, could you actually just try to figure out what are you even looking for? Because most likely it's going to be relatively similar to a full service catering company if you want to plate a dinner. Staffing is the most expensive thing.
Absolutely.
So get a quote for that. And then if you want to come back to us and say, here, we got a quote for that. And then also we want a quote for using this restaurant. They're going to drop the food off and then you guys can do a full plated. Cool. We'll at least do that. But if you don't even have a restaurant picked out or anything, you're going to ask us to do that and you might not even go find a restaurant at that point. So it's like, it's just spinning wheels for everybody at that point. So
Contrary to popular belief, we're not trying to nickel and dime our clients for as much as possible. We want to make a profitable rate on the services that you need, right? We are not trying to pad the job with as many extra people or as many extras as we can. And I think that if in any case, if we can save you a couple dollars and make our jobs easier at the same time, we'd much rather do that.
absolutely.
And I'm sure with catering and with staffing, there's probably a lot of ways that you can help your customers save money with smart planning in the beginning.
Yep. So one, don't call me the day of saying, we just found out we have to do everything, which is part of
You've gotten those though.
Oh, absolutely.
That's when you're paying the most.
That's when
Red
you're paying the
flag.
most. Yep. And also, you can't necessarily expect the highest quality staff person because all my good staff are booking themselves out, right? Like, they're not gig workers, but they are still in that economy where they're like, hey, if I don't get booked within 2 weeks, I'm going to reach out and see if somebody can book me for a Saturday, right? Yeah. And so that's one side. But yes, in terms of just even helping guide a client, there are so many ways to help save costs that, as an example, you would know this, with rentals on linens, people all the time tell us like, oh, we're just going to buy our own linens, right? Do you want to talk about this?
I would love to.
Yeah, go ahead.
My passion is wrinkled linens.
Yeah.
My hatred of wrinkled linens. No, absolutely what you're paying for when you rent a linen is the time it takes a human being to stain treat it, wash it, dry it, iron or steam it. Mm-hmm. And the difference visually, aesthetically between a wrinkled, even fold line, linen and a flat, night and day.
Yeah.
It is absolutely one of the first things that elevates your event.
Yes.
I can't unsee it now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry,
I
but
can't
I'm not
unsee
sorry.
it now. I am ruined for linens.
Well, good.
I
ruined
judge-
it for you. So.
I judge so
bakers
harshly
and
now.
florists that
yeah.
are close to me will show up to a wedding to do their thing, and they will be texting me pictures on the day of your weddings with your wrinkled ass linens and be like, oh my God, this is where my cake is going. Can you believe this?
Every time.
So point being is when you, and I use this because people can understand it when I explain it this way, is, okay, you want to go on Amazon, you want to buy linens. Great, so you buy linens, and then you get them. Well, you should wash them first, because not for the chemicals or whatever, but just to try to loosen up those creases that were put in there 3 years ago when they were first put in storage. And then on top of that, you have to then refold them and then hopefully try to iron them beforehand. Otherwise, you're then taking it to the venue and you are trying to iron, and you've seen this where everybody has their little steamers and they're trying to iron them out and they do not come out. So who are you paying to do all that labor? Is it the friends and family that'll maybe get some of the wrinkles out, or you ahead of time trying to do it? Or are you just paying somebody about the same price as it costs to rent that you think you're going to save the money to then sell later? It doesn't actually save you any money. In fact, it hurts you because now you're stressed about trying to get everything done ahead of time, bring it, and then, oh no, we only purchased just enough, and then we found out there's an extra bistro table that we didn't think about, or whatever. Have a professional handle it. It's the same thing with staffing. And it goes down to everything from setting the buffet to if you want us to handle your appetizers. Well, we're going to start thinking about everything from the forks and the napkins that are going to be needed for it. Do you have platters or plates that things are going on? The dessert at the end, there's a donut thing. How are those actually being presented? All the things that go along with it, you're not stressing about like, oh, no, we need to bring that all in a bin. And we've had some brides that are exceptionally, they have their Excel spreadsheets, and a lot of times those are super helpful, and they have the bins labeled with everything in it. It's like, oh, thankfully. But it's still stress on them. So who are you paying to do it? Either you're paying yourself to do it, or you're paying a professional to do it. If a professional is doing it, they know all the stuff that's in it. We do this all the time. We have kits that we have available for people. It saves you money. Because you're not, and I've shown people, it's like, hey, this kit is whatever it might be, $50 to $100 to $200. And people then say, it's like, oh, well, we'll just provide that. And I'm like, okay, well, that is a $450 value kit if you went and purchased all the items in there to provide it yourself, or even some of the rental things.
Have you had people go on Price It and come back and be like, oh, we'll actually get it from you?
Well, no, we just send them the list, and they're just like, oh, yeah, never mind. Right. No, you guys provide it. Because things like a box of gloves, we're going to bring that. Towels, cleaning supplies, all those kind of things. And people are like, oh, well, we'll just provide that.
Well, like when we've talked about the time, like when people want to micromanage and have us itemize the time that we're putting in, our prices, our cost, that whole conversation. And this is absolutely part of it. The supplies that you maintain in your kitchen, the supplies that you maintain for your staff, if somebody wants to, oh, we'll take care of that back end of things. Okay, here's what it's going to cost you. I'll give you an itemized list. The time alone it takes you to shop for that.
Well, and that's where you're going to spend a lot of money too, is when you get to 2 weeks ahead of the event and those sort of come to Jesus moments start popping up. And then you're like, oh, we have to go buy this whole list of things. So you've budgeted out your entire wedding. You know who you're hiring. You know what you're spending. And then that can rack up into hundreds of dollars. And at that point, you're just so crazy. You're just throwing money to solve problems. It gets really expensive. And
but then, sorry.
Go ahead.
But then you're also doing this, like 2-3 weeks before your wedding, when you're also supposed to be prepping, doing all of your salon visits, all your last minute fittings, getting your suit or your tux if you're...
Right.
Doing
family coming into town that might be stressing you out also.
God forbid you enjoy yourself.
God forbid.
So going back to kind of budgeting and how to manage that for people, one, trust the professionals. If we say something from the beginning, there's a reason why we said it. It's kind of like the reason why things are in our contracts. There was something that came up, and this is why it's in the contract, right? So if we say, hey, set any expectation, it means that if we need to have something there for us, that's not a suggestion. It's a, hey, either you're going to provide it or we're going to provide it. But if we don't, here's what ends up happening. You didn't allow us to provide all the cleaning supplies. Okay, no problem. You said you were going to provide it. We get there. They aren't easily accessible, or they're hidden in cupboards or whatever. There's 15 minutes at least wasted by 2 people trying to figure out where stuff is throughout the event. And that 15 extra minutes by 2 people, that's at least $40 to $50 of just wasted time.
Right.
Because you wanted to save.
And you're billing by actual hours.
Yeah, absolutely. So just even on that, if a vendor says, here, these are the necessary things, it's important. It's not just we're trying to nickel and dime you and try to get the little extra out. Absolutely not. We know this is going to make it so that way our staff on site are the most efficient they can be, so that way they're not wasting time. Or, God forbid this one, we get to the venue site close time, and there's at least a half hour extra to clean. And now you're getting a $500 overtime bill from the venue.
Because you understaffed.
Because you understaffed or you underprovided the materials that were needed. What were you going to say?
I'm very new to having a staff, having somebody with me that I'm paying. And vendor to vendor and the people watching, how do you decide, what systems do you have in place and what did you learn early on in staffing that okay, I need this amount of people for this service? Because obviously you hire one more person, that's hundreds. Yep. You hire 2 more people, that's, you have a staff of 10 people, that's thousands of dollars. That's off the bottom line for you. So what systems did you have in place and what did you learn early on that I know I need to hire somebody based on XYZ?
Well, I started the company off of the idea that nobody had a really easy place to just say, I need somebody who knows what the heck they're doing to come to my house and do food service. I already knew those people. So I was like, well, I'm not going to be available all the time. So that's why I didn't call it Daniel Birch's staffing, because then they're going to want Daniel Birch. And I'm not available all the time. Plus, there's way better bartenders than me. So I was like, if you want a high quality bartender, I know those people. And so I already had that in mind. And that's why I billed for actual hours. So I wasn't out the, oh, I bid this and then all of a sudden it's going to be way more expensive. It's like, no, I'm going to help you connect the actual people with your needs, right? So that's where I started from the beginning. I also had the experience from working from, I don't know if I should be name dropping. So very high quality catering companies in the Portland market area, as well as some moderate catering companies, as well as I worked at, venues and like the convention center, even as an example, right? And so I had a lot of experience, and I already knew, just based on, okay, if we're here, we have this many people here. So I already knew ratios off of that, as well as working at other places, I knew their ratios. So when I started the company, I was like, well, we're going to work off of that, because I know all the events went really well when we were on those ratios. And so that's how I started from. And then obviously it just gets to the point of like, oh, we show up and there's no gloves. Well, I guess I need to start providing some way to provide gloves, and then packages and deals and things like that, where it's like, oh, there's no tongs and spoons and bowls and things like that. Here's a buffet package. We have everything we need. Give us the food, and that's it. You go enjoy your event. You just make sure the restaurant drops the food off, and we will handle it from there.
I cannot tell you how many weddings I've had where catering was drop off and I provided the staffing before I learned to ask this question. You probably know what question I'm going to ask. And the week of the wedding, the clients reach out to me and they're like, do you rent chafing dishes? And I'm like, no.
Yep. Also, bowls, because I just found out there's sauces and those kind of things.
I have that stuff.
Right.
If it's cute, I have it. If it's not cute, I don't care.
Right, but here's the other problem. We started providing, but as an example, so the buffet kit, I tried at the beginning doing the onesie twosies, like how many bowls do you need? And then we showed up, and the catering company dropped the food off and conveniently left out the fact that it comes with 8 different toppings and sides that have no bowls or tongs or spoons with them. So we're like, now what do we do? I guess those are going in the, that really sucks.
Or when the client says, no, this company, the one that I've worked with most, oh, they're providing serving spoons and tongs. And after the first time I said,
And the plastic.
I said, yes, they do. And they're plastic. And so that doesn't look amazing, but also they're super flimsy and people are trying to serve themselves hunks of meat and whatever that you can't pick that up with this. It's not going to work.
So again, it goes down to setting expectations. For budget setting with clients, you have 2 visuals that you're looking at. You're either looking at a quality buffet that has nice chafing dishes, it's set well, there's even risers on it, so that way things are elevated at different levels so it doesn't look just like a flat buffet. Or then there's the disposable buffet. If you want to save costs, that's what it's going to look like. And if you're fine with that, great. We've set the expectation. Now you know what to expect. The food's going to come with the flimsy tongs and spoons and stuff, and it works, but at the same time, what's the feel that you want your guests to know, right? And same thing with the other stuff. I mean, from having, and people want to do this even for, have rentals for end of night stuff. So the not after party, but the late night snacks, right? Why do rentals for that? All you're asking for is way more cleanup at the end. Nobody's looking at like...
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
They are so drunk at that point, they do not care.
Absolutely. So
They were just looking for something.
right. If it's napkins, paper boats, something, you can get even like the bamboo type stuff that's super cute and eco-friendly and it looks good. That's going to be way more cost effective than keeping all the staff there to the very bitter end, because now we have the dessert plate and, all the other stuff. Glassware too, if you're trying to save a buck. Do disposable glassware, because then again, we can release a lot more of the staff ahead of time, because at the end, there's just a bunch of disposables we can go through with the trash can when it's ugly and the lights all come on and we can just go through and super easy to clean up. If there is 3 types of glassware sitting on every table for all the guests and everybody's still wondering where their beer is because they still wanted to chug it before they do the little goodbye to the bride and groom, it's like, great, like, okay, drink your beer. Like, we need to start cleaning up because we only have an hour from...
You don't have to go home.
Out.
Yep.
We need to reset.
Yep, exactly. So it's things like that where can you get away with disposables in some areas and still keep an elevated feel? Absolutely. It goes down to the quality of the disposables that you use. You don't have to have paper, plate, and plastic. You can have nicer plastics or the bamboo or the eco-friendly type stuff, or even select specific foods that don't require plates for desserts or other things, right? Cupcakes, you can get away with a napkin. If you're doing cake, it is going to be a plate, whether that's a disposable plastic plate or a rental plate.
These are the things that people don't think about. Hire people like Daniel and Emily and Marisa because, like, well, hire us too. But for this reason, like, you guys have that like knowledge. There's been times that I'm like, I'm not blind to it, but my focus is not on those details, and you provide those details. So that is like for the cost, for the client, for the peace of mind. That's incredible, but you know, you wouldn't necessarily see all that.
I think the reality is you may not actually be able to afford what you want.
Yeah.
Sorry, that sucks. Like, you may not be able to get all the things that you want, and your budget might still be sky high. And that, I think, leads to people feeling really disillusioned with the industry in general. It's like, I'm spending this much money, how come I can't have the things that I want? It's because you're pulling inspiration from six-figure weddings. And you don't know it because you don't understand that it's not just the pretty picture, it's the labor behind that that's often invisible, that you can't do that without.
I think I have a just do instead of a just don't. Because I feel like the just don't would be towards clients. And we're trying to be specifically vendor, like, I know that there's clients, some of our clients watch this and they love us.
You could say,
but
just don't let your client.
well, but just do, so for other vendors that aren't us, if a client hires you first, this has happened for you, this happens for photographers and videographers, this happens for florists. Somebody pins their hopes on a particular aspect visually that they think is important. This goes to venues too. And they book that thing first. And then hopefully a responsible person in that category is going to say, like Sorsha does, do you have a planner? Do you have a whatever, all the other things? Push people to planners.
Yes.
I don't say that because I want more gigs. I can only take so many gigs a year. What I hate seeing is people not getting what they want because there's no one to guide them through the budget process. Yes. A big part of the budget process is we understand that labor costs money and it is included in your overall budget. So you can have a budget for cake and you're like, oh, I only want to spend $300 on the cake. Fine, how's it going to get there and who's going to cut it? Delivery fee, staffing.
Yep.
That's sometimes an additional $300 depending on how it's being done.
Absolutely. I think that in general, when you as a vendor are doing that initial like reach out to a client, that upfront information, if you can really make it a point to think about the big picture and find holes in their plans and to just talk your clients through those moments, you can really help set them up to have a successful event and also get your friends hired when it's clear they're unaware that they need certain like services.
Yeah, don't just say, just don't say that it's not your problem, that you see that hole and it's not your problem. I feel a good vendor in this high level of a service industry where we should be caring about our clients, it is absolutely on us to try and fill all the holes, not ourselves, but with our vendor besties.
Let our clients know they even exist.
Right, because if I get hired as a videographer and they don't have a planner, and they don't have somebody making sure the chairs and the tables at the chairs at the ceremony are like in a complete perfect line, and we got Uncle Joey like in the front row, and a planner would see that, I'm gonna get to the ceremony and go, Joey. But point being, if they were in a perfect row, like I know Emily does and Marisa does, I would be able to do what I do. And if they haven't hired a planner,
Well, and your timeline's going to be crap.
my timeline is going to be crap. We're going to be doing speeches at 3 o'clock, and it's like supposed to have been 1.
So I worked.
What
at
are we gonna do?
I worked at a construction company, and there was this one event one bathroom remodel that we did where we finished the entire thing and then we tore it all out. The entire thing. And it was because it started with the demo guys going through, demoing everything, seeing a rat's nest, or seeing rat poop and then finding the rat's nest or whatever, and they left it there. And it went to everything else. Had nothing to do with the actual rat poop, but it was the attitude.
Yes.
It's not my job. Right. And they were like, well, that's okay. Either A, the next person, the guy who's gonna, the framing company's gonna come in and do that. Well, we were all, you know, it was all in-house, so the framing guys are gonna do it. And they were like, well, that's okay, it's gonna get covered up anyways. Everything from there, the tile lines were off, everything, because it was just that attitude of the next guy's gonna do it. As vendors, it's our job to see a client wants a vision. If there's something that we see that is not gonna line up with that vision, it's our job to speak up and just let them know, hey,
Big green flag.
I heard you say this. Do you have a coordinator to deal with that?
Do you
Oh,
really want a black cake in the middle of a campground at night with no lighting behind it?
So I hear you say you want an ice cream cake, and you've talked to the cake vendor. Now this is it's gonna be in the middle of summer, and I know this venue has no freezer space. Have you thought about that yet?
I rent a chest freezer. It's in my inventory.
No, you haven't? Talk to Marisa, because she will get you a freezer. So it's our job to see those holes and not say, well, that's okay, it's not my job. It's our job to bill enough where we know that we can take that 5 extra minutes and not feel like we're trying to milk every second that we have to be, you know, economical for what we're doing. And we can't take 5 seconds to be like, I see a whole picture problem here. I want to take 5 minutes and address it. Yeah. Have you talked to your photographer about this? Because it's going to be a problem if if I saw our layout and I noticed our busing station is right in a very poor spot for all of the visuals for the rest of the space.
Bless you.
Bless you for that.
Have you talked to your rental company about pipe and drape? Have you talked to like, it's our job to see that kind of stuff and say, you should go talk to the rental or the photographer company.
This is also why, as clients, you pay more for somebody with more experience for those kinds of details.
You save money and you have a better experience with good planning from the start.
I've been trying to get ahead.